Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic day, week, month, year, all of that fun stuff. I'm here with another video showcasing one of the stamp sets that I have created for the spring-summer launch. And again, it's to give you inspiration. Also know, dig into your stash. If you've got a stamp that's similar like this, a big and bold stamp size or background stamp, you can use this same technique on anything that you already have. So please keep that in mind. What we are going to do in today's video is we are going to have a play with our dye inks and just have some fun getting the ink onto the stamp. Loud noise coming. And then adding water to it to make those dye inks move. Now, you can use any water-soluble or water-reactive dye ink for this technique. Could be oxides, it could be the distress inks, it could be the Simon Says Positively inks, Catherine Puller's, you know, any ink that will react with water. I know the Simon Says ink pads, the original ones, they do not. So you just want to keep an eye on that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my card base in place and get the stamp in place. Not very well, obviously, but you know, hey, we're going to give it a shot. Alright, so it's going to be somewhat center, not perfect, but that's where I want that. And this way I know I will always be able to put my cardstock back in its place. The cardstock that I'm using is a Bristol cardstock. And when I come back, I'm going to have the colors of inks that I am going to use. I think I'm going to use some greens, blues, teals, but very dark, very, very different in shade. All right, so when we come back, we'll get started. Okay, so these are the colors that I will be using. These are Simon Says Positively. So Twilight, Morning, Galaxy, Dew, Mist, Raindrop, and Aspen, Sage, Pine. All right. I may just also go with these as well. I may not use the Twilight, Morning, and Galaxy. Matter of fact, yes. We will not be using those. Okay. Now, I will say that this does work a little bit better if we are using pads that are smaller in size, you know, so cube size. But again, it's nothing to stress about when it comes to what exactly that size is, because we're going to use the corner of the ink pads. And what we're also going to use are our ink blending brushes to get the color down. And that's these right here. So I'm going to start out with my darkest colors. And I have these laid out here. So that's Raindrop and Pine. So I'm going to start along the outside, and again, I am just adding color. I'm tapping it on to my stamp And then I'm going to come in with the next color. And what I'm going to do now is to stamp this. Get this stamped into place so I can start seeing my colors. And you can see why a stamp positioning tool is going to be helpful. I'm going to come in again with that darker color around the outside. And I'm going to blend the darker teal, which I think is a lot stronger than that. And we get soft colors as we continue to do this. Now, I'm going to move to the mid-tone. So I'm going from darkest to lightest. All right, and again, this is Sage. And you can see I'm just kind of going up these branches. I mean, you can have fun with the different locations of where you want to put it. And when I want to see that, I just want to get it stamped so I can see where my colors are coming down. Now, if you don't have a blending brush, see that edge, you're not going to be perfect. You have to take your head to the side, but we can swipe it in different areas to just get the look that we're going for. Because again, we're going to add water to this. You're not going to contaminate your pads. You're only doing this a little bit. And you can see how we got more of that color down. With the next one for Mist, I'm just kind of going to hit the one area. Now, what I do like, though, about the blending brushes is it's softer. It does allow it to be a little softer, so I can come in and just tap this to make it softer and to tone it all down. And you can see it's just starting to come into the shape. Now, I like all of that color there. So when I come in with the lightest color, I'm going to clean off the stamp. Get that color off. And now I'm just going to tap with these lighter colors in certain areas. And now I'm just going to press down. And you can see all of this wonderful color we have. And then I'm going to clean off the stamp again. And then with the lightest green, I'm really going to cover this. And now going to stamp over all of this. And now we get all of these different variegated looks. Can you see those different colors? And now we're going to make these all come to life with the magic of water and a paintbrush. But first, let me get my stamp away. So that we don't make a mess of that. All right, and we'll be pulling that back out for our sentiment in a little bit. Okay. Going to grab a brush. And I've got my water. And I've got a towel that's got some glue on it. Yay. So we'll grab another one. And I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit so that you can see. So I go into my water. And then I'm going to dab some of the water off. And then I'm just going to pick an area. So for right now, I'm going to focus on where the orbs are, and I'm just going to go around the edge, and I'm just painting, taking my brush over that area where the inks are, and I'm just pulling that color out. Again, cleaning off the brush, dabbing some of it off, and I'm going to do the next one. And you can see that color moving. This is not going to be something that's drastic, which is what I like about it. You just want to make sure that you are dabbing off your brush prior to taking it to the cardstock, because we don't want this isn't heat emboss, so this will flow together. And then we just keep on doing that, going around. Now, if you want this bolder, then by all means, have fun with your watercolors or your colored pencils. You know, whatever your favorite coloring medium is. And you can see I forgot to rinse that or dab some water off of that, so that's a little wetter. So you can see just how that moved that color. Now the next area I'm going to focus on are these triangles here in the corner. And I'm going to start where they gather. So here, and then I'm going to pull out. Again, and I'm going to have to turn the panel just to make sure that I'm going in that direction that's comfortable for me. And again, we are just softening. And again, did not take off that water. So I grabbed some of it. And really just focusing on the area where this does all gather, because that's where the most color is, and it'll hold the shadow. And because the colors are so random and that they're all over the place, these are going to start looking different. There's no fancy brush stroke. We are just taking our brush and just moving it along those areas in the direction in which we want to go. All right, now we have those done. Now I'm going to focus on these petals. So for that, I'm just going to wiggle, basically, straight up from the tip of that petal. But I'm making sure I hit each side so that I can get that color to move. And leaving just a small area of the white on the edge. And then after I do the row, that's when I'm going in to clean my brush. So again, I must apologize, you know, here, now we've got a cold. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another with me. So I do apologize how my voice is sounding. I'm kind of forcing it to sound like this. Doing a bad job, I know. But if I don't, my voice will be about 20 octaves deeper. It's amazing. I think this technique is a really fun technique. And the reason why I think that is because you can take any stamp that's in your stash and make it look watercolor, which I think is great. Not everybody wants to watercolor. And here you go, you can see just how that looks. Gives it just a slight watercolor effect. I am going to leave these areas alone. I want those to be nice and defined. All right, so I'm going to clean up my area and we're going to put our card together. And here is our panel. Soft, looks nice. So let's start layering up our panels. Now this did not warp too much. I did not use that much water, so I don't have to use any double-sided tape. But if you want, you certainly can. I also chose to not cut out the center of my mirror cardstock, and that's because I don't want this panel to sink down. Because it's a pretty thick mirror cardstock. But you can certainly do that. And if you have some scraps that you can fill that in with, then by all means, you can do that as well. All right, we're going to get that set. Whoops. And now we're going to get this on our card. This is a 6x6 card base that I have. And you can see just how large that image is. Okay. Now, when I see this image, and I think it's because somebody said to me that it looks like a starfish. So now every time I see this image, I am seeing the ocean. I am seeing the beach. So, yeah. She knows who she is. So I'm always creating this stamp set now with a somewhat of a beach feel. So I took the sentiment, Make a Wish, which I think is great. It's for any celebrations. It can also be to lift up someone's spirit. And I think I have a smaller piece of black there that I can use. Yes. And I'm going to take this and just put it on some black cardstock. And we're going to trim that out. And we're going to put that, now we can put that right in the center, and I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to prop that up using some double-sided foam squares, because you guys know I love my dimension. Now, how did I do that? There we go. You can add gems to these. There's lots of different ways that you can just add embellishments to the design. We will get the release paper removed. Eventually. And then we will get this in place. So I stamped the sentiment using my Altenew Obsidian Black. And then I used, there is an embossing powder that I got from Michael's through with their recollection lines, and it was called Glitz. So it creates this holographic effect over any color that you put it on. And that is our card, an easy way and a quick way to get a watercolor effect. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's project, and especially just the technique, which can be used in your stash that you currently have. If you're curious about the stamp set that I used and interested to learn more, I will have it linked down below in the video description. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well. I would love to have you subscribe if you are new and you just stopped by because you were curious about this video. Hello, welcome. But I'd love for you to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you ring the bell so that hopefully YouTube will notify you when the next video is ready for you to watch. You never know. You know, here's hoping. But most of all, to each and every one of you, thank you so much for your support, your appreciation, your encouragement, and everything else that you guys do for me. I love being able to show you new techniques, new ways to use your stash, to stretch it, and help you to make your art, and for me to be part of that process. And remember, enjoy the process. Have fun making your art. Know that it is art. Don't get stressed, and no frustration. Just have some fun. Try something new. Try something different. You never know what you might come up with. But most of all, guys, and always, be creative in everything that you do and every day. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Till then, and hopefully I won't have a cold. Talk to you soon. Take care.